Guys, we've all been there. At some point you look in the mirror and say, where did my hairline go? Those power alleys in left and right center field continue to grow as you get older. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by age 35? Thing is, when you start noticing hair loss, maybe a little too late. You don't want that bald spot to just pop up. You want to do something about it first. That's why you need to visit 4hims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and other wellness supplements for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Science. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. Look, this isn't snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Instead, prescription solutions backed by, again, science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to 4hims.com. Just answer a few questions, the doctor will review and give you a prescription, and products are shipped directly to your door. Order today and listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. Look, that'll cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/wingo. That's FORHIMS.com/wingo. 4hims.com/wingo.
The big race in Indianapolis is center stage every May, but you don't have to be a racing enthusiast to focus on your engine. With Pennzoil Synthetics, you'll get complete protection for top engine performance. Pennzoil puts your vehicle center stage no matter what month it is. Pennzoil, make the switch.
Oh, it's Thursday, and it's an interesting Thursday. Glad you're with us. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo here, and Cookmaster Cliff comes hard with love in an elevator to start the show. Yeah, I got to say, sometimes the music inspires us to get going. Yeah. Other times I'm like, oh, Cliff, I see what you did there. Love in the elevator, man. I got nothing. I got nothing. Cliff, what are we doing?
Jerry suggested that one, so you can blame him.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So immediately throwing somebody else under the bus.
Yeah.
Whole lot of buck passes.
So that kind of day already.
So this is what happens after a great day yesterday. The group outing at the Yard Goats game, our AA affiliate here for the Rockies in Hartford at Dunkin' Donuts Park. They're fantastic. They treat us incredibly well. We took the group there yesterday. Had a great time. Maybe too great a time.
Yeah.
And so you had to start it off, you and Allie, and for your first and last. I don't even know how you were able to do that. We got after it all pretty hard.
Yeah.
Pretty darn hard.
Yeah.
For a 10:30 a.m. game.
Yeah. It was 5 o'clock somewhere.
And I heard Allie explaining, and I think she's correct, the first 3 innings flew by, so we tried to drink at the same pace.
Yeah. It was the pitch clock, I think, that got us.
The pitch clock is fantastic.
It works.
It really does.
Hey, listen,
we
in
use
a variety of ways that we did not see coming.
We use the pitch clock for other things. I tried to follow the rule of one drink, one bottle of water, and
it lasted about an inning and a half.
It didn't last long, and the water went by the wayside. I think everybody's dragging this morning a little bit.
It was a combination of events, but you're right. The Rumble Ponies, man, Tim Tebow's squad swinging at every first pitch. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
Just flying. I blame them as much as anything else for the rate of consumption that went on early in that game. And then we got an elongated probably 6th to 9th inning that allowed us to pack in a little more work volume. And
pack it up, pack it in, let me begin.
It all ended in ruin. Usually the best part of day drinking is the fact that you work through everything by the next morning. I instead woke up mid-hangover, almost woke up and immediately vomited, and now I'm here today trying to piece that all back together.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Living in America.
And let me tell you, we had Tim Tebow on Tuesday, and we told him we were going to heckle him.
Yeah.
Man, did Jerry heckle him.
Jared Bear went hard.
Listen.
After Tim Tebow.
We're just keeping our word is what we were doing.
Well, he lived up to it. He lived up to it. There's no question about that.
Yeah, but we said we were going to do it. You know, what are you going to do? But they were great. We got a chance, Mike, I know you, me, and Jason Fitz to meet the owner, go in the locker room, meet some of the players and the coaching staff.
We found out Scott Van Pelt was given markedly better seats than us.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Really?
SVP was sitting right down behind home plate. They realized they couldn't put us, because we are the riffraff, anywhere near the clients, anywhere near the children. They kept us far away.
And that was the smart thing to do. There is no way we deserve to sit where Scott Van Pelt was sitting.
I felt pretty good about where we were sitting.
I loved where we were sitting.
I felt really good. Now I feel bad.
No,
I was feeling good about it until you guys brought this up.
Just far enough away to not be a nuisance to people.
In their defense, Scott Van Pelt is infinitely better at what he does than we are at what we do.
Scott's the man.
Consummate professional.
And Scott also took the whole team, their team here on a nice tour of ESPN and such. So
very gracious.
We took care of our team.
Yes, we did.
Took care of our team.
And the thing about it is what we can't do anymore. We got it out of our system. We all can't complain.
Yep. No.
Because listen, we all did it to ourselves.
Yep.
We're all grown men and women. We all went out there, knew what we were doing, and we knew we had a job to do today, so damn it, let's just do it.
Yeah,
how about that?
We know what we signed up for, but just so you know, we're here for you.
Yeah,
we're here for you today, even though we probably shouldn't be.
It's time for Off the Top.
Whether you like it or not,
it's just beginning.
With Golic and Wingo.
And we start off the top with the Eastern Conference Finals set in the NBA. The Celtics hung on to beat the Sixers 114-112 to win their conference semi-matchup in 5 games as Boston closed the game on a 9-3 run over the final minute and a half.
So you look at this game, and we'll talk a lot about it and some of the things in it, but the thing that impressed me is I thought at some point Boston was going to run away with this thing. And they had a couple opportunities to. I thought that's what was going to happen. But the bottom line is there were 21 lead changes. It was tied 11 times. And with 1:37 to go, the 76ers had a 4-point lead. I mean, they had a chance to make it 3-2 in this series. And then a flurry at the end. Joel Embiid, with about 12 seconds to go, missed a shot, missed a tip-in, grabbed the rebound, gets it knocked off his leg. I mean, that was a tough sequence there for them. And the Celtics end up winning this one on the shooting of their young guns that are just fantastic. But, boy, the 76ers hung in this one close, made it a more competitive game than I honestly thought it was going to be.
Story of the series. That's the story of the series. 3 of the 5 games this series were within 5 points at under 5 minutes to go in the game. So 3 times that happens. Boston goes 3-0 and deserves credit for going 3-0 in those scenarios. But it was a lot closer series than it's going to look like when you look at the box score later on and see Celtics 4-1 moving on to the conference finals.
Yeah, like you said, that sums up the series in general because the Sixers at one point had that 20-point lead in one game. The Sixers couldn't close. I mean, that's what it came down to, whether they had a big lead or they kept it close. Look, and the future is bright in Philly, and Cliff wants to fire Brett Brown, and we'll get into that a little bit later because you're crazy. But look, at the end of the day, the Celtics figured out how to win games.
Yeah.
And that's what a more experienced team does.
But they're a young team, too, though. Yeah. That's the thing. You know, they're also
been
young.
Here before.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's the difference is the young and 76ers who haven't been there and the Celtics who have, because to be led again, I mean, Jason Tatum, 7 games in a row now, over 20 points, ridiculous, tied with Donovan Mitchell, who did it this postseason as well.
Yep, second longest stretch by a rookie in playoff history. Both sensational. Jason Tatum's going to have to keep being. Is he the one guy you could consider a star on this Celtics team? Because Marcus Smart and Al Horford to me comprise the same role. Jaylen Brown maybe gets close to that, but Jason Tatum's got to be the remaining star quality player.
The only one healthy.
Yeah, I mean, once Kyrie went down, somebody had to kind of take that. Who's going to be the guy? And Tatum has certainly, I think, grabbed that and run with it pretty darn well.
Did I read this right? I think this is the first time the Celtics are in back-to-back conference finals since the late 80s.
Since 80, yes. I think actually the mid 80s.
Mid 80s. I mean, that's the legendary Lakers Celtics rivalry. All those times they went up against each other in the NBA Finals. I don't care. Listen, you can play that all day you want today.
Exactly
today is not the day to worry about hitting the ramp, but we'll move on anyway.
Off the top.
2 best words in sports. Game 7.
Jets, Predators tonight for a spot in the conference finals to take on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, baby.
Here's what's fan. You know how we do the where do the stats come from? The names of things? This is great. According to Natural Stat Trick. How awesome is that?
Did you say that again?
Natural Stat Trick.
No.
The Jets.
I thought you were going to tweet that out.
The Jets. As I'm saying,
I'm tweeting out something else about Tiger and Phil. Go ahead.
There we go.
Yeah, the Jets and Predators have played the over 320 minutes of 5-on-5 in the first 6 games, and they have the same number of shot attempts and same number of shots on goal. And the goal differential is also just 1 in this. So, I mean, you can only pray for overtime hockey tonight because that's the greatest thing in sports.
A lot on the line, too. The Predators, who are the I think you can say the Las Vegas Golden Knights of last season as they garnered a lot of attention. Looking to go to the conference finals for the second straight postseason. They had never made a conference final prior to last year. They're 1-1 all time in Game 7s, but this is their first one at home. So this city, a lot of beer and a lot of catfish, a lot of Titans offensive linemen going to be in house for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Most importantly, Jason Fitz, fresh off his first pitch yesterday, has to get up for it all again tonight. He's got to find a way to recreate that same energy as he looks to watch his hometown Preds take it and get it done.
And he'll be joining us in studio in just about an hour, so we're looking forward to that. And I think I can sum up the feeling in Nashville and probably the feeling for Fitz in those very, very few words.
As they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
And there you go. Do that hockey tonight.
Looking forward to it
in Nashville with what was that stat again? What's that stat category?
That
called?
is
natural stat trick.
Natural stat trick.
Off the top.
All right, we continue and off the top. Somebody break up the Yankees because this is getting ridiculous. They have now won 17 of their last 18 and 11 straight home games. They've now taken 2 straight over the Red Sox in that series. They're up in the division now thanks to a late rally with Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge.
Yeah, 2-run triple by Gardner. Judge hits a home run. Kimball brought in to kind of close this thing down for the Red Sox. Couldn't get it done. But more importantly,
Más importante.
a couple of days ago, we said on this show.
Oh, we're still doing this.
Yeah, we are. The 3-game series, over-under strikeouts for Giancarlo Stanton. I put it 8. Trey, you went?
I went under.
Mike, you said?
Hammer the over.
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't say it.
Own that take, baby.
No strikeouts game 1. Last night, 1 strikeout. He has to strike out 8 times today to get the over.
You like your chances?
Trending upwards.
Yeah.
We're moving in the right direction. I'm feeling a big night for my buddy Giancarlo. He's going to get it done for me.
But they are unreal. Remember, this is a team that started out 9-9 in their first 18 games, 17-1 since. They've dropped the ERA from over 4.6 to 2.2. I mean, they have just been incredible. Obviously, with hitting, the pitching's been fantastic, and man, I mean, just the hottest team in baseball right now.
This stat line from Aaron Judge is hilarious. Last year, 2017, Aaron Judge versus the Red Sox, batting average 151, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. So far, through 2018, Aaron Judge, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 526 batting average.
Yeah. He likes him some Red Sox.
Going pretty well right now.
It's going well, and for all the talk about the Giancarlo Stanton struggles, I think very encouraging start to 2018 for Aaron Judge, who dealt with a little bit of that post-All-Star break slump last season, working through that, and now in his sophomore campaign for the Yankees is really taking up the mantle in a way that before the season kind of expected as the guy who had been through the ringer before, who had been through the height of all that mania, now gets to take that experience and turn it into this ungodly performance.
All the talk, whether it's been of Judge or what Sanchez has done or Gregorius has done, the pitching is I don't think is getting enough love.
You're right.
I mean, the lowest in baseball since April 21st when they started this run at 228. I mean, they've been fantastic. I know we've been talking about the hitting, but I guess that's the point. Yeah. They have it both going on right now.
And that's how you go 17-1, their best 18-game stretch since 1953. By the way, Brett, can we look up the last time someone actually had 8 at-bats in a baseball game? Because that's what has to happen.
That's what has to happen. And he has to strike out at all of them.
He has to go 0 for 8.
Yeah.
So he'd have to go double gold and sombrero.
Yeah.
Because platinum sombrero was 5, so I guess we go double gold.
How many extra innings does this thing need to go?
I tell you what, in a season where strikeouts have been as in vogue as they are, and we talk about the ultimate boom or bust, feels like time for something like that. We're due.
Time? Well done. You played that very well.
Off the top.
All right, we move on. On the 3rd anniversary of his first career home run, Cubs third baseman Kris Bryant hit his 100th career homer in Chicago's 13-4 win against the Marlins. It came in his 487th career game, and that's significant. Why, Mike?
It is, because that's the shortest amount of games to get to that 100 career home runs. Beat out Ernie Banks by 13 games.
Wow,
Ernie Banks did it in 500 games. Billy Williams back in 1964 did it in 611. Ernie, I should say, was in 1957 for the Cubs, who are sitting there in the division right now. They're 4th out of 5 in the division, but only 1 game back. They're 19-15. Nice division. It's the Reds that are where Matt Harvey's starting for them now. The Reds that are just horrific right now. But yeah, the Cubs at 19-15, 1 game back. It's a tight division right now, but Kris Bryant getting it done in quick time.
Yeah, it continues to be the young core for them that we talked about much more couple of years ago before that World Series, when he continues to be, I think, the class of that grouping in Chicago that really has. For as much of a talk as that was, it's amazing how quickly, once you ditch a 108-year curse, we sort of push you off to the side in favor of what's new and next.
Yeah, let us know when you do that again. When you swing around and do that again. It's like Russell Westbrook in the triple-double. That was amazing. He did it for a season.
Yeah.
Then he does it back to back. Yeah, we're over it.
We're
over it.
You're good every year now?
Whatever. I'm not into that at all anymore, so call me when you do something new. Thanks, guys.
Off the top.
#golf.
Trey, why don't you? In fact, you're just going to read this. Just
no. We're all going to celebrate.
You just keep going.
We're all going to celebrate. We're all in this together. The first round of the Players' Championship begins today with coverage featured groups on ESPN Plus. By the way, each of the top 50 players in the official World Golf Ranking are in the field this week, making the first time that each of the top 50 players in the OWGR, the official World Golf Ranking, have been in the field since the 2016 U.S. Open. And of course, there's one group in particular we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, that would be one. Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and Ricky Fowler. What are they, 150?
152.
152.
Which means
when
at 152 I will be.
Tiger. Oh, he looked good.
Yeah, I got a Tiger folder, okay? Tiger Woods, yo.
Will you be able to add to the Tiger file will be the question. So here's the quiz, guys. These two, Phil and Tiger, have played together for 35 rounds. 35 rounds. Who has had the better round more times?
Oh, I know.
Did you look at the stat?
Well,
you have a Tiger file. Never mind.
I have my
35 rounds they play together. Who do you think holds the edge?
It would seem too easy to say Tiger Woods, so it's probably Phil.
It's not. It's Tiger, but 16-15.
Oh, wow.
And then they had 4 rounds where they had the same. So it's pretty darn close.
I'm still hoping, again, this is the one mic'd up for sound. I know Phil hinted at it the other day, and someone said you're not allowed to bet on the course, but let's mic them up and let's see what kind of money's changing hands.
The two best bets I had heard when Phil, joked around about saying, hey, let's just go right to it and play head-to-head on Sunday. And they're not going to do tattoos, tattoo the other one's face on their thigh or something.
That was the one that ran away with it on my Twitter
The two best, I think, were the loser caddies for the winner in the next tournament.
Oh, that would be so bad.
Or the loser, they have to switch outfits on Sunday. Like if Tiger lost on Sunday, he would have to wear all black, and if Phil lost, he'd have to wear red, the red shirt on Sunday. I thought that was pretty good.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that'd be pretty.
By the way, Brett has been strangely silent.
Yes, he has.
I thought he might have wanted to contribute on the eight at bats. Do we have that yet? The 8 at bats?
Yeah, it happened earlier this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how many?
Really?
In the
how about that?
In an extra inning game, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say. Nice enthusiasm, Brett.
Yeah, Brett's like the rest of us.
Bringing the heat this morning.
Well, Brett.
Brett's like the rest of us.
Holy smokes.
Some have 8 at bats, some have 8 Bud Lights.
Hey!
You had a Bud Light for every single one of them, didn't you?
Hell of a recovery there, Brett.
The beauty of this, we're all in this together, folks.
We are.
We're all in this together.
But we have to play well because then everybody, hey, if you're going to go hang with the big dogs,
go hard or go home.
You got to.
We are here.
Yeah.
You have to.
Other euphemism.
Don't give in. Yeah. Don't give in.
Fight the good fight.
Yeah.
Persevere. Whatever.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Sorry, that's just...
That's the Lebitard show that throws up all over themselves.
Tripped up on me there.
That's
Sorry.
the commercial break.
Yeah. Okay.
We're getting into. Golic and Wingo, we are here with you, and we have a lot going on. Let's sound off on the Sixers Celtics. Sound off is brought to you by ADT. Are you considering home security? You should. Consider this. For 140 years, ADT has helped stop more crime than any other home security company. Visit ADT.com to learn more. Okay, so it was a frenetic ending to the series and Game 5 last night when it looked like the Sixers had a beautiful chance to tie this thing up and send it to overtime. Here's how it played out on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Lobs it for Covington. Covington zips the entry to Embiid. Turns on Baines. Embiid bumps him, gets in deep, pulls it up, no good, scramble for the rebound. Embiid has got it, knocked away by Rozier, out of bounds off Embiid, Celtics ball. Wow. And Embiid crashes to the floor, his hands over his head, not believing the opportunity that just slipped through his fingers.
And literally, it slipped through his fingers.
Right there. It was right there for him. I mean, that's, listen, the game, the series, this is... What an opportunity. As I said, I really thought Boston, and they did have a couple chances to pull away. They were right there. And what an opportunity with 12 seconds to go for either the tip in, or you had the rebound as well. And it goes by the wayside. Tip of the cap to it, Marcus Smart. How key was he toward the end of this game? With a minute to go, he gets the tip in that ties the score. And then with, 2 seconds to go, he hit that second, missed the first free throw, hit the second one, made it a 2-point game. So the 76ers still had a chance for the long pass down by Ben Simmons. Marcus Smart's the one who intercepted it and got the steal at the end. So nice ending for him. And that's what Joel Embiid and the 76ers get to live with in the offseason, is so close, right there at the end.
Marcus Smart, by the way, who deserves all the credit in the world for trying to miss that second free throw attempt.
Made it. How
and
about
making
that?
It unintentionally, which is one of the funnier images of the night.
You're right. I missed the headline on that one. That was the move. To miss that, have the clock running on the rebound. 2.4 seconds to go. To miss it on purpose, get the clock running when Philadelphia gets a rebound, and they'd have to have a Hail Mary to get the win, and he made it. He made it. Yeah. So, damn.
But by the way, how fitting, by the way, when you had Joel Embiid down there, and who was there to strip the ball away? Terry Rozier. The guy who has done just all the little things right so far in this entire playoff run. And then, of course, you saw Drew Bledsoe show up. Mm-hmm. Obviously going back to the Eric Bledsoe situation with the Bucks and the Celtics in that series. And to see him and Rozier sort of bonding, very cool.
Well, and he got to go up in the post-game press conference. He was up on the banister after talking about making a Terry Rosé now, apparently a bit of a wine connoisseur.
Drew is a huge wine.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier his own rosé out of all this, which may be the most shocking development.
Bledsoe got farther up on stage than Kevin Hart did at the Super Bowl.
That's still the Kevin Hart tweet about that is still the greatest. Still drunk, don't care. I should have listened to my wife. Yada yada. It was freaking amazing. Okay, we'll get more into the Sixers and the Celtics. We'll take a look and start spinning ahead to the Eastern Conference Finals now with the Cavs and the Celtics. But what tweaks the Sixers maybe should make, as now the process has yielded them as a potential playoff team going forward, and the one move that they should absolutely not make that some people are thinking they should do. We'll get into that.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. But Brett, like everyone else today, is dragging.
Yeah, listen, we're not going to sugarcoat it.
No.
We all had the group outing yesterday at the Hartford Yard Goats AA minor league game where Tim Tebow was there for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
Wore him out.
We actually said we were going to smack talk him when he was on our show, and he said that's cool, and
totally
Jerry did. We really smack talk. And let's just all be honest. We're all hungover. I mean, we just are. That's just what happened. We went to a 10:30 game.
Yep.
There was day drinking and a lot of day eating.
Yeah,
that went on.
Food was
but
really
you know
good.
What the bottom line
the
is?
day eating has gotten as much as anything else.
Yeah.
When you deviate off the norm that much, that cheesy tater tot beef combination,
holy smokes, was that unreal?
Altered my chemical makeup at a cellular level.
Think of nacho toppings, but instead of nacho chips, it was tater tots. And it was unbelievable.
I'm still trying to process what Junior just said. It altered my chemical fiber at a cellular level?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually understood
say you
it.
got fat.
Yeah. No.
Just
because it didn't. I didn't
just say you got fat.
I didn't get fat. It changed the person I am. Like my DNA sequencing is different now. I need that to survive.
Way deep.
All right, we'll do more of that with Fitz because he was there as well throughout the first pitch.
Yes,
he
did.
Join us at the top of the hour.
He didn't bounce it in, but he cheated. We'll get to more.
We'll get to all of that
controversy.
Yep. It's time now for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. So the Sixers' unbelievable run is done, right? And maybe they should have won more games in this series, but I don't think anyone's can be upset with the way things have played out.
They exceeded expectations.
Exactly,
no doubt
except
about
for sycophantic fans like Cliff, who once they got the playoffs signed up for the NBA Finals,
right?
Which was just a horrendous mistake Kind of like Love in the Elevator to start the show.
There you go.
Smith. Not sure where we were going with that one.
Nope.
I was trying to put it all together.
Nope.
But, so now they've got to figure out what happens next. And head coach Brett Brown, who by the way, came under some criticism for a couple of ATOs, which was the specialty of Brad Stevens after timeout plays.
Right.
Said, look, we know that when push comes to shove, that we'll always have to deal with Boston at some point.
If we're going to do anything of any significance, we're always going to have to go through the Boston Celtics. And I respect very much this organization. I think Danny and Brad are fantastic. You're always looking over your shoulder and watching how they've decided to grow their program. And this was a hard-fought series. It ends up the way it always ends up. There are possessions that you wish you had back, and that's life. And the game changes and life changes with those type of fragile subtleties.
Now, as much as I respect the fact that he respects the Celtics and all that kind of stuff, when you hear someone in the Eastern Conference say, we know we're going to have to go through Boston to get something done, somewhere I imagine LeBron James saying, hold my beer.
See, I was going to say, though, I get what he's saying.
Yes.
I mean, because I agree with you, hold my beer, but for how much longer? That's the thing. The beer's almost gone. Yeah. Whether he's leaving Cleveland after this year or he's there another couple of years, I get it. The way the 76ers are built and the way the Celtics are built, they're built for a long haul. Now, depending on contracts and all that, when the young players start to get older, are they going to hang around or what's going to happen there? But I get what he's saying because these are two young teams built to last right now, and the Celtics is doing it better at this point right now, even with the injuries, which makes it that much more mind-boggling to me. But I think that's where Brett Brown was going, and I completely get it.
Yeah, they're looking at their peer group in this one, which is basically the rookie class. I mean, for as much as we're talking about the slight benefit that the Celtics playoff experience from last year has provided certain guys on that team, this is still the youngest roster, I believe, in the NBA, but at the very least was the youngest roster in the playoffs. So this is who they're going to have to stare across the aisle at for a while, and Brett Brown knows he's got his hands full.
He does. And he's also got his hands full with ridiculous fans in Philadelphia. Cliff has tried to fire him twice.
Yes, he has. Because he wanted Jay Wright.
First, he wanted Jay Wright, and now he wants to fire him again because they only got to 5 games of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Cliff, do you still want him out? Do you want him gone?
Firing for a third time now.
Seriously?
Unbelievable.
3 times.
100%. This is pathetic. He made some comments along the lines of, if we had the beginning of the season, our expectations, we exceeded them, blah, 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 blah. That's a loser's mentality. He deserves to be fired.
But it's also
he should have been fired. He should have been fired.
It's also 100% true. What were your expectations when the season began?
Expectations change, Trey.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
So now there's hot take guy.
Right.
Hot take guy in Philadelphia. And then there's like knowledgeable guy in the NBA who happens to be our NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. This is what Woj said on the Lebitard show yesterday about the idea of someone going full Cliff on Brett Brown.
Brett Brown is in line to get a contract extension. Like, you don't win 30 more regular season games, win a round of the playoffs, and then all of a sudden somebody doesn't like your out-of-bounds play in one game, and you're going to make a change because of that. It's insane. Decisions aren't made off of one moment or a couple moments in one series, especially with a young team. And the other thing, too, is like, Brad Stevens might be a better coach than Brett Brown. He very well might be. So is everybody in the league going to fire their coach? Everybody who doesn't have a coach as good as Brad Stevens, they're all going to fire their coach? And then who are they hiring? And so I think some context gets lost in all of this sometimes. Like, he's a keeper. And coaches, the way you get better coaching in playoff situations as a head coach is to coach through them. It's like a player.
Basically, Cliff, that is Adrian Wojnarowski telling you take that for data, just so you know.
He's a good coach that lives about 14 miles from the Wells Fargo Center.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Would look sharp on that sideline too. The guy is just he
has looked sharp on that sideline. Remember,
so here's where we're coming out with Brett Brown. Are you on team crazy, which is Team Cliff, or Team Win, which is Wojnarowski?
Oh, I mean, I don't think he should lose his job. It would be then the second person, Sam Hinkie, isn't around to see the fruits of his labor. And could you imagine Brett Brown getting fired after going through the he was like basically This is what you have, man. Sorry, we're going through a process right now. He's like, okay, I'm coaching this, and I know we're going to lose. To now they're right on the precipice of being one of the top teams, and he got fired and wasn't able to be around to get the fruits of that labor. Oh, my God, that would be such a bummer for him personally. There's no way I think he should be fired.
Yeah, I guess say Mark Jackson can wrap an arm around him at that point if that ever comes to fruition. The funny part about listening to Woj talk about that stuff is the idea that you don't do that in coaching, but that's exactly what we do across the rest of the league.
Yeah.
What have the last few off seasons been driven by? The fact that if you're not as good as Golden State, that you shouldn't be making moves, that most of what you've done is futile. The fact that in the Eastern Conference, if you can't beat LeBron James, you should be blowing your team up. The fact that we've watched teams get blown up, the Pistons that we talked about, that old Pacers group, the old Bulls team, like this is the way that we respond all the time in certain avenues. So to say that response would be ludicrous in coaching kind of ignores the tendencies that we display across the rest of sport.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean those tendencies are right.
Oh, I'm not saying they're right, but to act like it's insane would be to ignore a ton of historical precedent.
But that doesn't mean it isn't insane.
I guess what I'm saying, but it's normalized. So if the insane is normal, then that's sane and everything else would be insane.
What you're saying in this situation is the exception.
We live in an insane world. It's sanity in an insane world.
Which if you just sit and think about it and think about where the future is going, Philly and Boston both are in fantastic places right now.
By the way, I love the fact that you use that line. That's one of my favorites. John Cleese of Monty Python fame. He always says when he was young, he thought the world was a sane place with pockets of insanity. And as I got older, I realized the world is an insane place with pockets of sanity.
That's it.
And that's sort of where we are. I mean, Dwayne Casey has to go because the Raptors couldn't get by LeBron James.
One of the greatest players of all time. Yeah.
Exactly right. They won 60 games. Did they win 60? I think they won 60 games or 59.
59. Yeah.
So, I mean, and now Brett Brown, because of people like Cliff, well, you got to fire that guy. Oh, just 3 words. Stop that now.
AARP can help you become your healthiest self. It's why we offer health tips for your body and your brain. So take on today and every day with AARP. Learn how at takeontoday.aarp.
I have second spectrum stats. Paul made 8 jump shots off 10 or more dribbles in Game 5, the most such made by any player in a game in the last 5 seasons. There you go, second spectrum.
Second spectrum stats.
I hope the people at Second Spectrum send like a cease and desist or something to stop you, monster.
From this?
I just gave you one more stat.
Sorry, the wrong.
Second spectrum stat people all trying to get their new pocket protectors, so not worried about them coming in.
Wow.
Sports Center brought to you by
coming in hot.
Discover Card. Become a new card member. Discover Card is going to match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar at the end of your first year. Learn more at discovercard.com/match. Limitations do apply.
All right, we continue. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN2. If you weren't with us at the start of the show, why did we do the start of the show?
Yeah.
But anyway, we were all here, and it's been a struggle.
It's been a struggle, and we're going to get to a something that was very poorly handled. But before that, we were, again, the Golic and Wingo outing at the Hartford Yard Goats AA minor league baseball game where we all ate too much and drank way too much. This is how bad it got. Minor league baseball, in between innings, they always do these crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
There was a toddler race.
Yeah.
Toddler. I mean, these 2 and 3 year olds.
2 and 3 year olds. We had 3 of them out there.
3 of them out there. A toddler race. Do you know what was happening where we were sitting? Bets.
Yeah.
There was money on the table betting on toddlers. This is what we were doing.
We found a new low.
We bet on that. We bet on the race where the donut won, and we bet on you won on something, a nasal spray thing.
Yeah, that was my only win of the day. Toddler number 3 really let me down. I mean, talk about not delivering on what you were showing. The kid stumbling out of the block. I saw a lot of enthusiasm that netted me.
He lost something off of his head and he just stopped. That just threw it in the towel.
No composure.
Threw in the towel.
We'll get to more of that when Jason Fitz joins us at the tab. We did do that, and Jerry just heckled Tim Tebow mercilessly. But anyway, speaking of strange things,
yes,
there are 2 Coach of the Year awards that go down in the NBA. Mm-hmm. There's the writer. Yeah, who knew that, right? There's more than one.
Huh.
So there's the Writers Award, and then there's the one voted by all the coaches. And for whatever reason, Brad Stevens, who I think might be the Coach of the Year, considering he lost Gordon Hayward day 1 and then lost Kyrie Irving down the stretch and find themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals. In the vote awarded by the actual coaches of the NBA. Well, all the coaches have a vote. He didn't get a single vote for Coach of the Year. Not one vote. Single vote for Coach of the Year.
And
that makes no sense.
And to add to it, didn't Brett Brown say something that was somewhat interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, after the game, Brett Brown said that he thought it was crazy that Brad Stevens didn't get a vote when Brett Brown himself has a vote.
He had a vote.
Well, here's the exact quote. He says, "You're saying he didn't get a vote? He should have gotten a vote. I would vote for him. He would get a vote from me. You had a vote. Who did you vote for then? Or did you just not fill in your ballot? The only thing I can think of is, I didn't fill in a ballot."
See, here's the thing that people need to know, because this would go on in the coaches poll in college football.
Yes.
Every week there was a coaches poll, and the coaches very rarely were the ones that voted. Yeah. They would leave that to the PR guy, or somebody else would put the vote in. The coaches would never vote. So I wonder how many coaches actually voted for a coach here, or they just said, go ahead, vote for who you want for the PR person. So, but I mean, Brett, come on. You'd have voted for, you had a vote. Who'd you vote for?
Yeah. Someone would have someone else handle their votes or picks. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know that.
I can't imagine anyone would have the lack of honor to go through with
listen,
that.
I always thought it ridiculous in college football, quite honestly, during a season that a coach was going to vote on who the top 25 teams are. We all know how these coaches are. They hibernate and worry about their team. They're going to rate the other top 25 teams. I thought it was ridiculous. So I had no problem if somebody else gave the vote, but I have no idea what happened here.
Yeah, I just don't quite understand how you can say he didn't get a vote. He would have gotten my vote.
Yeah.
You had a chance to make the vote.
You had a vote.
Yeah.
You had a vote. So
I'm trying to figure out how many coaches received votes would be my question. I'm asking Brett this more. How many coaches received votes in this? Because Dwayne Casey was your winner.
He won.
Based on his regular season, you can understand. This is like handing out the NBA's regular season MVP at the award show after the finals, where it's just poorly timed. Dwayne Casey just got embarrassed in the Eastern Conference semis.
Understand what we're saying. Brett Brown Brad Stevens is going on to the Eastern Conference Finals, didn't get a vote.
Yeah.
And
but nobody voted for him.
And Dwayne Casey won and is probably going to get fired.
Yeah. Brett, you have an update for us.
According to the NBCA, Coaches Association, 7 other coaches received votes in addition to Casey: Brett Brown, Mike D'Antoni, Nate McMillan, Greg Popovich, Quinn Snyder, Terry Stotts, and Doc Rivers.
Look, I can't fault any of those guys getting a vote.
Doc Rivers got votes and Brad Stevens did.
But I can't fault him not getting a vote. That's ridiculous.
Doc Rivers?
So
seriously.
We're saying we have some integrity issues in the voting?
Wait a minute.
8
Doc Rivers.
8 coaches.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like when you make a Pro Bowl.
Did the Clippers make the playoffs?
They did not. Keep getting them because of what happened previous years. So look, we're trying to get to the bottom of this.
Doc Clippers?
Once
Doc
again,
Clippers. Doc from the Clippers? Doc Rivers from the Clippers?
Clip it. You know, Golics are very important in hockey. Golic and Wingo, presented by Progressive Insurance. Commercial insurance through Progressive protects your business and your dream. Choose from over 30 coverage options at progressivecommercial.com. Doc Clippers, is that what you said?
Doc Rivers?
It's gonna be a long day, folks. Just know this is just a taste.
Doc Rivers?
Guys, we've all been there. At some point, you look in the mirror and say, where did my hairline go? Those power alleys in left and right center field continue to grow as you get older. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by age 35? Thing is, when you start noticing hair loss, maybe a little too late. You don't want that bald spot to just pop up. You want to do something about it first. That's why you need to visit 4hims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and other wellness supplements for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Science. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They have well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. Look, this isn't snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Instead, prescription solutions backed by, again, science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to 4hims.com. Just answer a few questions. The doctor will review and give you a prescription, and products are shipped directly to your door. Order today, and listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. Look, that'll cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/wingo. That's FORHIMS.com/wingo. 4hims.com/wingo.
At Trex, we know there's a place for wood in your backyard. We recommend the fire pit. But when it comes down to choosing the right material for your next deck, look no further than the superior beauty and durability of the world's #1 premium decking brand. Trex delivers the look of wood without all of the work and the worry, and it's made from 95% recycled materials, which makes it the right choice for your backyard 100% of the time. To learn how to make Trex your next deck, visit Trex.com to order samples.
Left to center field, bats back, turning, looking, see ya! A long home run for Judge.
I just want us to win every day's game, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
And the Yankees have won 17 of 18, and right now it is good to be a Yankee fan.
Yeah, it better be good to be a Yankees fan when you've won 17 of your last 18 games, last achieved by this storied franchise in 1953. Glad you're with us. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And then there's guys like this guy sitting to my left.
Turn your mic on. You are a professional.
First one out of the gate.
Wow.
Yeah. Jason Fitz joins us from Spain and Fitz, of course, longtime fiddler. And what was the other band manager, music manager for the band?
No, band leader, music director. So
yes. Grand Poobah, Master of Time, Space and Dimension.
Right. Yeah.
All those things.
Did you have like a business card that said all that?
No.
But it looks like he has it tattooed on one of his arms.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
No, it basically just meant like I did the arrangements and figured out who played what in shows. And
you had to do the stuff that no one else in the band felt like doing, so they made you do it.
Like the actual music stuff that's sort of
the actual music, the important
stuff. Things.
The important stuff sounds like the people singing out in front of the band. That sounds like the important part.
Anybody can sing, but hey, let them do it without the music.
You guys are starting the shade early here. Let's remember, I did not drink yesterday at the Yard Goats game, so I am in tip-top shape this morning.
Which means you're going to win, and you're the only one.
Yes.
Because we've been talking. We had our group outing yesterday, and it started with you, Jason Fitz from Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Nice. By the way, I would kill for a 3-hour shift. We started with you throwing out the first pitch at the Yard Goats game, and how did it go?
You know what? I think my natural athleticism was on display. I want to thank my coach. I want to thank my life coach. God, everybody, I really feel like I stepped up and I showed the world what greatness looks like. I haven't gotten a contract offer yet from the Yard Goats, but pretty sure. And let's not forget, Tim Tebow did not start the game, which is an absolute indication that he's scared of me.
Okay, can I just say, you started 5 different sentences in that answer and never finished one of them.
Well, that's how much excitement there was for the pitch.
He started right here, then he went there.
Can we jump into the reality of the situation of throwing out the first pitch? What did you do the day before you had to throw out the first pitch?
That's, you know what? All great athletes practice, all right? Yes, I called a buddy of mine and said, hey, I don't think I've thrown a baseball more than 20 times in my life, so we should probably go to a park. And so I did, yesterday, the day before I went
You went to a park and practiced?
Yes, I went to a park and practiced.
And then you got to the ballpark?
Yes.
And you wanted to warm up and you couldn't?
Right. My friend did tell me, oh my God, for the love of all things holy, insist that you get some warm-up pitches. And so I went down there and I asked the really nice girl, I was like, hey, is there somewhere where I can throw a couple warm-up pitches? And she said no. So I texted my friend and said, I don't get warm-up pitches, and his immediate response was leave now, just run out. So
save yourself.
Yeah, but you know what? No, it did not matter. Okay. I did not put it in the dirt.
So the important part of it, very quickly, when you walked out to the mound, were you able to kick some dirt off the rubber to kind of get a good foot placement off the rubber on the mound?
Yeah, how was your plan where you're going there, gentlemen? But let's remember, I was not the only person to throw out the first pitch. They have a sequence of people. I was the truth. Last one. And B, the team. I looked at them. I said, "Ooh, everybody else throwing from in front of the mound." And the team said, "So are you." And that was it. There was no discussion about it. They did not allow me to go near the dirt.
How do they not allow you to go on the mound?
See, if you were an alpha, you would have just walked straight out to the rubber and said, I'm doing this. What are they going to security going to come and throw you out in the midst of that?
I'm representing this company. I'm going to do it the right way. And I've been holding this in my back pocket waiting for this argument. Let's remember the men's head basketball coach for University of Hartford threw right before me. He also threw in front of the mound. Are you going to question his
If he were sitting here right now, I would destroy him. That's exactly right.
Come on.
That doesn't count.
The right way. The right way is from the mound.
I had that 100% of the way.
Golic and Wingo here with you. Jason Fitz from Fitz in Spain, or Spain and Fitz, whichever one it is. Yeah. Spain and Fitz.
Well, my name's first in everybody's hearts.
Well, that's true, and also alphabetically. I was told that's how the name of this show went, alphabetically.
Yeah,
so that's why
I just keep thinking that.
Apparently not. Yeah. Spain and Fitz. My bad. He joins us in studio giving the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. And now let's get straight to what's trending. The Celtics beat the 76ers 114-112 to win their conference semifinals in Game 5. Boston closed it out on a 9-3 run over the final minute 27.
For this series, I really thought Boston was going to wipe them out last night and had a couple chances to get there. But then having a 4-point lead with about $1:30 to go in this one, I thought, man, they have a chance to pull it out. And 12 seconds ago, Embiid, has the shot, the putback, the rebound, doesn't make any of it, gets a ball knocked off of his leg, then loses possession. A very competitive game, an incredibly competitive series. This game had, 21 lead changes. And I guess the more out of it I just say is Jason Tatum just continues to be unbelievable for the Celtics. As a team, they're playing well without Kyrie Irving, but this guy has been incredible.
They've had a number of guys that can take over, but 7 straight 20-point efforts from him has been impressive. On the other side, I was very confused now. This is the second straight game where Joel Embiid ends up with a good stat line, 27 points on the night, and started to be more assertive, but seemed like he needed a jump start. And the other day it was TJ McConnell, and last night it was Dario Saric, who had a hell of a game for them, has sort of reinvented himself as more of a post guy this series, but he seemed to be the catalyst for everything that we saw later in the game from Joel Embiid, which confused the hell out of me for a guy that's been sort of the guy out in front of everything for Philadelphia.
That's what Philly's going to look back on in this series. They're going to realize that Embiid and Simmons did not play particularly well, and they still had the opportunity to win several of these games. It's alarming. Should be noted, we got the Final Four we thought we were going to get, right? Yeah. For all this excitement, we got Boston, Cleveland, and Houston, Golden State.
But we thought Boston would have Kyrie. That would be
and Gordon Hayward.
That's the amazing thing. By the way, when you said didn't play particularly well, he did have 1 point in one game. Ben Simmons did, and also never took a jump shot.
Ben Simmons took 59 shots and did not make one from outside the paint.
Wait a minute. Is that a second spectrum stat?
Yeah, I think it is. In the restricted area, he was 23 of 35. In the paint, outside of the restricted area, but still in the paint, he was 5 of 20. And outside the paint, he was 0 for 4. Didn't make a shot outside the paint. We think we know what he needs to work on in the offseason.
Jump shot.
Holy smokes.
Elbow jumper.
Wow.
He needs to work on some beef.
Beef.
Balance, eyes,
elbow, and
tempo.
Beef.
Follow through.
That's it.
Beef. Kids,
talking beef, right?
We are
talking beef.
We're just moving.
Beef Talk Wireless.
Golic, Wingo,
nationwide beef.
Wow.
Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo, and Jason Fitz from Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Hey.
We continue. The Yankees continue. They rallied from 6-5 down to take care of the Boston Red Sox 9-6. They are now 17-1 in their last 18 games. It's the best 18-game stretch in a season since 1953 for the New York Yankees.
And listen, I'll say it again. We keep talking about the hitters, and they're doing a great job, but I think most of the love has to go to the pitching. Before that, when they were 9-9, they had a 4.61 ERA, and this run, it's 2.28. I mean, the pitching has been fantastic. Now it's backed up with great hitting, so it's like instead of, hey, you're slow, but you make up for it by being weak, hey, you're pitching well and you're making up for it by hitting well. I mean, that shows to 17-1, but they got it rocking right now.
Yeah, you make up for it by doing the known commodity well, and that was exactly what we expected coming into this season, and the combination of those two is why you're going to win 17 of 18. All of this feels cruel, though, because you've got this going on in New York where they're used to the wins and the pinstripes, and then across town for the Mets, who just years ago had a World Series appearance.
It feels like a decade ago.
It feels like a lifetime ago. You had a World Series appearance and a a rotation full of aces, and you just watch one of them depart, and now you can't even bat in the right order.
Well, and the expectations for the Mets were going to be at least something to watch this year, and it's something to watch in the absolute wrong way.
Right.
The staggering thing to me is that we started the playoff conversation yesterday. Like Stephen A. Smith yesterday was talking about the fact that the wild card system is broken because it's a one game, and one of these two teams, Boston or New York, is going to get stuck in that one game playoff system. Are we going to spend the whole baseball season talking about the broken playoff system? Like, I think we should just sort of enjoy whatever this is because it's a very long process.
Let me sum that up. Yes, we probably will.
Fair point.
By the way, we mentioned best 18-game stretch since 1953. Here was the Yankees' traditional lineup that season. Yogi Berra, Joe Collins, Billy Martin, Phil Rizzuto, Gil McDougall, Gene Woodling, Hank Bauer, and Mickey Mantle. pretty good.
Yeah, it's
the
pretty
pitching
good.
staff: Whitey Ford, Vic Raschi, Eddie Lopat, Ali Reynolds, and Johnny Sane. I mean, that's the kind of thing we're looking at here. That's a pretty decent lineup.
Yeah,
they have matched that 18-game stretch this year with going 17-1. And the Jets play the Preds in Game 7 for a spot in the conference finals to face the Golden Knights. According to Natural Stat Trick, the Jets and Preds have played 320 minutes, 34 seconds at 5-on-5 in the first 6 games and have exact same number of shots, attempts, and shots on goal.
So this is, speaking of the playoff conversation that we're going to have all year in baseball, this is a reminder that we get almost annually in the NHL where the 2 best teams are playing right now. It's unfortunate. It's just the way the system is, but we're getting the 2 best teams, at least by points, in the NHL. Justin Timberlake makes all the difference in this series. I know that sounds weird, but Game 7 should have been last night. And Game 7 could not be last night because Bridgestone Arena in Nashville has a Justin Timberlake concert. They could not move that concert, so Game 7 instead is tonight. Pekka Rinne is 11-3 in the playoffs when he gets an extra day of rest, and he has been inconsistent in this series. So Justin Timberlake actually is getting the wild assist.
JT.
There you
go.
That's such a Nashville problem.
That is a true point. But people don't realize to move a concert like that, a lot of times those concerts, I can't speak to his, but a lot of them have guarantees that are in the millions of dollars. So to say, hey, we're going to move you a few months, cash.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran did that for the NFL,
the
right?
Entire NFL, like the first half of the NFL season is being dictated about who plays home and away in many cases because of an Ed Sheeran touring concert.
How nervous are you going to be, though, tonight?
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. The game tips, the puck drops at 8 tonight. So, the last hour is just going to be, we're just going to see how that goes. And then I have SportsCenter on Snapchat tonight. So I have bribed the entire Snapchat crew with food. I'm going to provide the food and let them do all of the work so I can just sit there and either celebrate or soak in some
cry
misery.
in your own sorrow.
Yeah, I don't know how that, Game 7, Nashville's also never hosted. So this is for a city that, always loves a party. Nashville gets their first ever Game 7.
What a party.
You can get a fair amount of advice from your co-host. I mean, Sarah's been used to watching those Blackhawks teams for years skate circles around everyone, and now finally gets to take a year off.
Yeah, she reminds me, I ask her all the time how the playoffs are going this year for her, and then she conversely reminds me how many cups they have.
Beer and catfish.
Yeah.
Beer and catfish.
Beer and catfish.
Let's go.
Well, yes, but not beer and catfish in the traditional sense.
No.
I'll have fried catfish and a beer. No, I'll have my beer off a dead raw catfish.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the different way.
And the slime that
we'll
comes
see what
with
happens going forward. As we continue, Golic and Wingo, Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo here, and Jason Fitz. Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 Eastern.
Hey.
ESPN Radio.
Who knew?
Okay, so we've got a lot to get to. And before we get into the next thing we're going to do, we do need to have one more recap. People understand that we're all dragging a little bit today. We're all sort of down in the dumps. I can't remember. Did you participate in the toddler racing bets?
Okay, so yes, I did.
And did your toddler
win? My toddler lost, and I'm just because we're being honest with everybody. Because I had the show later that night, I chose not to partake in any alcohol, and so I was.
You're winning today.
I was yes, but I wasn't winning yesterday. I lost money on toddler races while I was sober, and everybody else.
You should have been able to handicap it better.
Yeah.
Again, what we're talking about
toddler
is
the hood fell. It wasn't my fault.
Hartford Yard Goats, the AA affiliate of the Rockies, here in a fantastic stadium, Dunkin' Donuts Park. We were out there for a Golic and Wingo,
team building
experience, and we built it through food and alcohol. We had Tim Tebow on before that series started, and we said we were going to be there heckling him as his team was in town, and our boy Jerry certainly did heckle him. We were true to our word. But it got out of hand. It was a 10:30 start, and we did. There was money laid down on the table for a toddler race. A toddler race.
Yeah.
We bet. There were a few other races that I felt better about betting on, but the toddlers, all of a sudden you got money on a 3-year-old.
Did the kids really need the hoods up? Because that seemed to be a distraction for a lot of them.
That cost number 3. The number 3 lost his hood, and the kid just stopped.
Out of the block.
Just stopped.
See, I didn't bet on 3 beforehand because 3 was sort of wandering around. I bet on 2 because 2 got in a runner's stance well before it was time. I was like, all right, 2 knows what's going on. That did not turn out to be the case.
That's where we've got to.
We devolved.
We devolved at a molecular level, according to Junior.
Yes, no.
Yeah. So listen, because of that and because of all the things that have been going on, our producer Dan Stanzik, who by the way was also there with us.
Yes, he was.
By the way, I think that he was the worst out of all of us, probably.
Probably him or Jerry.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry. Yeah. Well,
maybe Brett.
Yeah. Brett. Well, Brettomology is suffering today. There's no question. So Stanzik's trying to take it easy on us. So we've got this thing called Loaded Questions.
There you go.
We had loaded tater tots yesterday.
Yes, they were. By the way, my favorite thing about that is with all the food, and it was put up on the Golic and Wingo Instagram account, and you put it up there as well. The only food that wasn't touched, the salad.
The salad. There was a salad.
We didn't touch the salad.
My wife, who ordered the food, said, I never ordered a salad.
Yeah.
And the salad came, and the salad was untouched.
Well, and what Mike's not telling you is there was a moment I was inside the suite area and having coffee, and the waitress walked in and she said, "Well, I've got all these shrimp, but I don't know where to put them." And they had like these bacon barbecue
shrimp. Yeah.
that looked delightful. And Mike was like, "Well, just get the salad out of here."
the salad.
Like, he immediately threw that out to her, and she didn't do it. She left the salad. She found another spot for it.
I mean, take the hint. We're not eating the salad, okay? As much as you want us to, we're not doing it.
Take the salad. All right, let's take loaded questions now. Brought to you by GNC. Ignite what's inside you at GNC, which might be a bad idea today. Buy two, get one free for a limited time. GNC, live well. Okay, you ready? We're going to go around the table. Junior, we'll start with you. Sixers fans, not named Cliff, Sixers fans should feel blank about their season.
I want to give you some snarky answer, but it's encouraged. This is nothing but a building block year, and I think the most value they got out of this postseason was in the last two games, and getting a win in Game 4 of this series and then in Game 5 last night to be able to weather a couple of the major points where it looked like Boston was going to run away and hide with the game are going to be the biggest building blocks going forward that they can watch next year.
I'm going to say hopeful of what the future holds. And I'll separate because as players, the players will be highly disappointed.
Yep.
Highly, because they were on the court. They were right there. They had the lead. They're going to feel like, oh, we don't care about the future. We think in the now we could have won. But from the fans' perspective, I would absolutely say hopeful.
Yeah, I would have to say completely encouraged. You know, I mean, what they were the last couple of years to where they are now is ridiculous, and people like Cliff tend to be very ridiculous in their expectations. So this is nothing but a positive to build on if you are the Philadelphia 76ers.
They should be ecstatic because you still have to look at the beacon of light. They didn't get anything from Markelle Fultz all year, no matter what we think he's going to be. And Ben Simmons was just a shell of himself in the playoffs, as we talked about earlier. You got to believe that's not going to happen again. So you get those two pieces back, it's a reason to say, you know what? Things are better.
Well, you went
up there.
You know what?
High octave.
You know what? That was very good.
We need to have you come on and announce T.J. McConnell's eventual max contract in that voice.
Wow. You know what? All right, we continue with loaded questions. Over under 4.5 combined wins for the Rockets and Celtics in the conference finals. Again, the Rockets are playing Golden State, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are in the way of the Boston Celtics.
If you had to ask me, I'd go under on this, and I'd assume.
Would you hammer the under?
I would hammer the under on this. I'd assume that both games at max would go 6 in each of these series. I think now that we've seen the Cavaliers gain confidence from their series against the Raptors, they didn't learn anything new about themselves. They didn't become a different team, but they at least gotten a better rhythm. They found a bit more offensive flow, which is where this team's going to have to win because defensively, they're not going to flip the switch overnight and become something new on that side of the court.
Yeah, agree. This isn't anything new. We just have to see if they're going to be consistent in what they're doing because Boston's certainly the more athletic team out there. I'll definitely say the under. I don't think there'll be any sweeps. I wouldn't be surprised if each of the teams got one win, but I'll agree with you. The max they're going to get is 2 wins, so that would be 4 total. So I'll go under here.
I will also take the under. Look, I don't think they've lost four games in the playoffs since Kevin Durant got there in total, or 4. I think they've lost 4 or 5. That's it. So yeah, I don't see any way that one team's getting more than 3. So that would put you at over, so I have to take the under here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under, and that's a huge loss for the NBA because this Rockets-Warriors series is what we've been building up for a year. I mean, not only does it need to be an incredible series, like the NBA needs it to go 6 or 7 games because the final is going to be a joke comparatively, so they need some sort of excitement out of this. So it's unfortunate for the NBA that we're all taking the under here.
I'd be amazed how much the NBA does need this. That was what I was wondering this morning. We were talking on First and Last. How much does it? Because up until this point, the NBA has been able to mask what has otherwise been a year that gave us the exact Final Four that we expected coming into this season. That we got enough little bit of meandering along the way in a playoffs where Golden State's lost 1 game a series so far, which puts them just 2 above last year leading up to this point. Is that all we really needed for this to go well?
But I will say this. The NBA has to sell us that June and July matter, and they can't do that I just got buzzed.
No, you got buzzed.
Yeah, you got buzzed. Wow, you actually respected it.
See, that's why I didn't walk on the mound, you savages. They need it to matter so that June and July can matter in free agency because they can sell us then. Hey, it mattered last year.
And we need to matter moving forward here as we're doing loaded questions. Golic, Wingo, 2 Golics, 1 Wingo, and Jason Fitz of Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Okay, now that Chris Paul and Alexander Ovechkin, or as we called him yesterday, Alan Ovechkin, have each made the conference finals. Who's the best athlete in sports that has not reached the semifinals in their respective sport? Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Mike Trout, Giancarlo Stanton, Odell Beckham Jr., J.J. Watt.
Or anybody
Tyron
else,
Smith,
you think?
Anybody.
Yeah.
I'm really hyped that Tyron Smith's included on this list. I don't know when we started playing credence to offensive linemen at this level, but what a time to be alive. It's Anthony Davis. It's Anthony Davis running away and hiding with this. Watching him during this year's playoff run, in addition to being surprised by Drew Holiday, I was reminded what a commodity we've had lost and sequestered in down in New Orleans right now, really just biding his time for a lot of people until they thought maybe he'd move on to greener pastures. Now the decision becomes, how do you structure that team around him with Boogie Cousins this offseason? Because this guy on the court with Golden State at times looked like he might be the best player on that whole floor.
Yeah, we're going to disagree on that. I'm going Mike Trout. Mike Trout's best player in baseball. Hasn't even won a playoff game. Let alone getting to the conference finals of your respective sport. So I go with Mike because he's just so not underrated, but nobody talks about him. Right. You never hear about the guy.
What are we talking about this season with the Angels? Shohei Ohtani and Albert Pujols getting 3,000 hits.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He's a two-time MVP. He's finished second 3 times.
Ridiculous how good he is.
I'm with you 100% in on Mike Trout.
I'm with Golic Jr. I'm going to go Anthony Davis, but it's also partially because of the path. It just feels like when you talk about the NBA, it's so easy to get yourself to the situation where you can make it that far. I mean, we're not even talking about the NFL guys because one guy can't make that much of a difference in that process, but in the NBA they can. So I'm going to go Anthony Davis.
Well, you guys are wrong, and Golic and I are right.
It's an opinion thing. I would never say that they're wrong, even though they are.
They are.
No worries.
All right, Fitz, go get it amped up.
I'm going to go ice my shoulder.
Yes.
I'm going to ice my shoulder.
There you go, and
Let's go Preds.
Ice down some other stuff to get ready for the Preds Game 7. All right, Jason Fitz, Spain and Fitz, 6 to 9 Eastern, ESPN Radio. All right, coming up, at one time they were bitter rivals. Now are they frenemies instead? Tiger and Phil together again. That's next.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Decking, railing, lighting, furniture, fencing, framing. At Trex, we make the most in outdoor living because you deserve to get more from your life outdoors. So why not start bringing your ideas to life now with the brand that's engineering what's next? To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, or to find a local retailer or a certified Trex Pro deck builder near you, visit Trex.com. That's TREX.com.
We are delighted to be joined now by the Golf Channel analyst and former Tiger Woods teammate and roommate at Stanford, Notah Begay. He joins us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell with the Fuel Rewards program. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join, and start saving 5 cents a gallon today. Notah, thanks for being with us this morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How's everything going?
Good.
Oh, well.
The last time we had Notah on, he actually was the one that told us he was the one that gave Tiger the nickname Urkel in college. That was not the part I did not know. That was him. So what do you think it means for Tiger and Phil, the fact that they're paired together for the first time in a long time?
Well, I think it means that the PGA Tour has come to a point where they realize that if they put these marquee pairings together, there's also a really great pairing going off about 30, maybe a little bit more than 30 minutes before them in Spieth, McIlroy, and Thomas. So there's just creating a lot of intrigue around early round golf, which typically can get a little bit boring at times. More boring than normal with golf. So, guys, I know, the regular sports fans are kind of turned away from golf at times, but it just creates a lot of excitement. I mean, we've been talking about this all week. The galleries are going to be huge, and not to mention you're throwing in, one of the biggest young superstars into that group in Ricky Fowler as well. So don't overlook that.
So along those lines, I'm always wondering, take us down there on the course. You know, we've heard the stories of Phil and Tiger maybe not getting along years ago. So put that in general. When you're starting the first couple days of the tournament, or really any of them, when you're paired with somebody that you don't like, because let's be honest, not everybody gets along. If you really don't like somebody you're paired with, how does that go sometimes on the course?
Well, there's usually not a lot of talking. And there's usually, you're not talking about your favorite color or, what's going on or your sports teams or anything like that. It's just usually very cordial. Golf, I think that's one of the nice things about our sport is everybody's very respectful of each other and cordial. And so it's, you ask just very simple questions, but there's not a lot of just general discussion that you would have with, say, so when Tiger and I would play together, it was we'd both hit our tee shots, and then we literally would walk from the tee all the way to the fairway together, just talking about whatever it is was, topic of interest at that time. And when players get along well, there's a lot of just friendly talk. But when you don't, you really don't say too many words to each other.
Talking to Notah Begay on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And as far as these two as golfers now, based on what you've seen so far in this season, who would you give the edge to going into the tournament? Who do you expect to play well on this course in particular?
Well, I would probably give the edge to Tiger at this point. And this is why, because the Valspar Championship is contested on the Copperhead course at Innisbrook Resort. And it's a very tight, demanding golf course off the tee that doesn't require a lot of drivers, which I think is one of the things that benefited Tiger when he was able to play so well there. The TPC Sawgrass is a similar type of golf course. It takes driver out of your hands a lot, which I think is a good thing for Phil. But I think Tiger benefits. He has a 2-iron that he put in his bag sort of late last year that he can hit about 260 yards off the tee, and he can shape it both ways. So I think you're going to see him really rely on that club in a lot of instances, and then he's comfortable with his 3-wood. His driver hasn't been particularly cooperative this year. So the driver for both players isn't a strength, but this type of golf course I think is more of a position golf course off the tee, and then you try and make your score with your approach shots.
Notah Begay with us, part of the Golf Channel's live coverage from the Players News coverage this week from 9 a.m. to 1. And then Thursday's round of the Players Champions airs on the Golf Channel from 1 to 7, specifically talking about Tiger and Phil. I think we all know over the years that they weren't best of friends. There was that time at the Ryder Cup a few years ago when Captain Hal Sutton paired them together. Thought it would be a great thing. The pairing was a disaster. They didn't play well playing with each other. But it seems like this relationship has evolved as they've gotten older and into their 40s now. How do you see the relationship between Phil and Tiger now as opposed to what it was when they were both in their peak, basically trying to beat each other's brains out with a 7-iron?
Yeah, I'll give you a great example. Tiger and I were playing at the Byron Nelson, which is coming at the AT&T Byron Nelson, which is coming up next week in Dallas. And we were in the basement of the hotel going up to our rooms. We just finished a workout at the gym and hopped in the elevator, Tiger and myself. We went up to the lobby level, and who walks into the elevator and saw us? And if he had his wish, he would have turned around and walked back into the lobby, but it was Phil Mickelson. And this was when Tiger had really started to dominate and was Phil could not beat him. I mean, you heard him in this press conference this week. He talked about, I just couldn't figure out how to beat Tiger. And this was that period of time where Tiger just owned Phil. And we rode up like 4 or 5 floors and not one word was said. And the door opens, Phil gets off, door shuts, and kind of Tiger just stayed quiet, and we didn't really, talk about it too much. But to where you see them now, where they're joking with each other, they're very complimentary of each other and where they're at in terms of their place in the game. And that came about a lot because of their participation on task force related to the Ryder Cup, because they were on regular conference calls together, and they have 2 of the worst records with regard to their performance in the Ryder Cup. And so I think they put aside any, issues that they had because they both wanted to see the United States succeed and do better in the Ryder Cup, because up until that point, we had lost 8 out of the 10 previous Ryder Cups to the European side. And so that really facilitated more communication, and they started to see things that they had in common. And then as every athlete gets to the end of their career and realizes that the end is closer than the beginning, you start to appreciate the people that you battled against, sort of Magic and Larry and those kinds of things start to come into your mind, saying, well, I really appreciate this guy because he made me better. He made me work harder. And I think you're starting to see that now through the friendship that was fostered primarily through their support of the American side in the Ryder Cup discussion.
Still trying to think of how uncomfortable that elevator ride was. So
real quick, were you?
It was kind of quiet in there, guys.
Notah, were you the guy that's just like, I don't want to say anything. I'm pretending like I'm not here.
I was having the best time because I'm like, I want to see how this elevator might explode. I mean, it was just, I kind of chuckled to myself. I go, I wonder what's going to happen here. It was just because it'd been, I mean, we'd gone against, those guys had gone against each other a little bit in college, but because of the age disparity, not a whole lot. I mean, in amateur golf, I mean, so it was a quiet elevator ride, guys.
So, all right. So let's go. I love going to the mental side of athletes. 17th hole should be, listen, 137-yard shot, 9-iron wedge for these guys, whatever, should be for pros fairly easy. Should be. But in the last 15 years, that 17th hole has combined 762 over par and 703 balls have wound up in the water. Why is the 17th hole so difficult for you professionals?
Because it's just water. I mean, it's the same reason that scares the wits out of every amateur golfer is you could put just a regular par 3 with no water, and an amateur will get up there and, they'll hit it. They might hit the green or they might hit it in the bunker or just short of the green. But you put water into the equation, and all of a sudden everybody just stiffens up. And it's the same thing with this. It's completely surrounded by water. And there's 3 tiny sections of the green. There's the back section, the front section, and then the middle right section. And so the over par score is you can attribute to, if you miss the appropriate section of the green that the hole's cut, you have a really, really tough time getting down into for par. That's if you manage to hit the green.
Right.
Now, if you miss the green and you hit it in the water, the drop is no easy shot either, because you're about 70 yards and you're like, can I get enough spin on this? Can I keep it down if the wind is swirling, which it always swirls on that particular part, especially now with all the big grandstands. The wind just comes up and down, up and over those big hospitality areas. And so I think the wind and the water are the 2 biggest considerations as far as pros with regard to them having some big problems with that hole.
Yeah, they call it the scariest 120-yard shot in all of golf. All right, yeah. Notah, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for the insights, and we look forward to watching you on the Golf Channel this week.
Thanks, Notah.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
I was never the fastest. Never the biggest. Never the strongest. But I never let that stop me. I never lost sight of my goal.
Passion moves us forward. It's how you think. It's how we think. Courtyard by Marriott. Official hotel of the NFL.
Asking Brett this more. How many coaches received votes in this?
According to the NBCA, Coaches Association, 7 other coaches received votes in addition to Casey: Brett Brown, Mike D'Antoni, Nate McMillan, Greg Popovich, Quinn Snyder, Terry Stotts, and Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers?
We're saying we have some integrity issues in the vote.
Wait a minute. Doc Rivers?
So, look, we're trying to get to the bottom of this.
Doc Clippers?
Doc Clippers?
Doc from the Clippers? Doc Rivers from the Clippers?
Clip it.
Day drinking, bad.
The day after.
Sports Center brought to you by Post-it. If you work on a hot or rainy job site, you know how tough it can be to communicate clearly, but new Post-it Extreme Notes are water-resistant and extra sticky, so now you can get your message said and get the job done in any weather condition. New Post-it Extreme Notes. Buy them today.
All right, we continue on Golic and Wingo. Coming up in a little bit, Stu Gatz from the Dan Le Batard Show will join us, and apparently he's got beef with us again.
Yeah, well, why not?
They're obsessed. Jeff Van Gundy will join us at 8:30. Timmy Legler, he's going to hang out with us for the entire hour.
Yes,
Apparently he's bored. And we will be very happy to have Timmy Legler in the studio with us in the 9 o'clock hour. We are presented by Progressive's Home Insurance, with insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-Progressive.com. And Mike, I'm having a feeling okay, sorry, they want me to do the read again. Sorry, okay. Here we go. Commercial vehicles at 1-800-Progressive and Progressive.com. There you go. You're welcome. Hashtag bills paid. But speaking of commercial insurance, there's a truck in Poland that might have had to need
Oh, yeah,
insurance.
how about that? Yeah.
A chocolate truck spilled onto a Polish highway after a truck overturned, and now the chocolate is hardening.
Yeah, the chocolate is it's spilled on both sides of the highway.
Yeah.
And
tons of liquid milk chocolate, by the way, in Poland.
And it hardened.
Yeah.
It actually hardened, so they have to bring in hot water to pour hot water on the chocolate to melt the chocolate to get it up off the road.
Yeah.
Or they could just invite the Golic and Wingo show and we'll get it off the road.
We'll just go eat it.
I got a couple of straws. Yeah, I can help you out while it's still in that liquid form.
I just scrape it up and it'd be like the nice, like a chocolate, bar. It'd be fantastic.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's how they mass produce Wonka bars in the movie.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Right.
I was just what would be the Wonka name for this bar? Because they have the Gobstopper, all this kind of stuff. What would be
the traffic stopper?
The everlasting truck liquor? I mean, what would it be?
By the way, did you guys know they transported chocolate in giant vats like that, the same way they would transfer water
and gas, right? And the gasoline.
Let's not mix up those tanks.
No, let's not.
Let's make sure that we have a separate tank for the chocolate and a separate tank for the gas.
Not for nothing, a Polish highway sounds dirty. It's
sounds dirty?
Yeah. What happened last night? I got the Polish highway. So anyway, the chocolate gushed across all 6 lanes of the A2.
Wow.
All 6 lanes. The A2. Stop it, Junior.
Wow.
Timeout. You are going to timeout.
Yes, you
We're
are.
We're sending you to timeout.
I need to leave.
Yeah.
I can't be around for when we eventually get thrown off air.
Another minute and a half and you're out of here.
All 6 lanes, which, by the way, connects Prozman to Warsaw.
Well,
it blocked
there you
traffic
go.
in both directions. The cooling chocolate is worse than snow, said Senior Brigadier Bogdan Kowalski of Slupka. Poland's fire brigade told the Associated Press. How do you move thousands of pounds of chocolate off a highway? We will melt the chocolate with hot water. It will take more than a few hours.
I just say you bring people in, let them eat it.
Yeah.
I wonder what it costs for a 6-lane Polish highway.
Oh, see, you're taking us down a road.
You're gonna have to go home.
You need to leave.
Brings up the question: if there was some sort of truck carrying something, what would you want it to be that spilled on the highway?
Money.
Yeah,
money.
All right,
I mean, come on.
That happened in Indianapolis.
Yes.
Okay,
money.
Take out money. A product. A product.
Money.
No. Take out money, a product.
Money wrapped in chocolate.
That spills in front of you that you can
Polish
get out
money
and take.
wrapped in chocolate.
Cliff would hope it's Brett Brown spilling out in the highway so that Jay Wright can just drive over to Philly.
Oh, that's horrible.
I mean, something you could eat right off the street?
Well, something you could take. I don't care if a product, not money.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I have a really good story about that. That happened once to us when we were driving to my parents' house in Palm Springs, and it was too. We'll tell. I'll do the radio tease ahead. You're gonna love this story.
Yeah, because you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, because I thought of this.
Nobody answered the question.
It's an amazing thing. It was the combination of 2 things that came together on the highway and crashed, and it created a slowdown for days. We'll get to that, plus Stu Gatz coming up. Stay with us. Junior, you're in timeout.
You didn't answer the question.
I know.